have no uniqueness, not a single card to substantiate this. Alleviating resource shortages in the third world countries. Those are obviously inevitable. Even if they bring some people over from third world countries, our link argument was that we send remittances back to those third world countries and create a U.S. model in which other countries are unwilling to do anything about their population growth because of rampant population growth in the United States. Those are all link arguments that were in the 2NR. All of our impacts are also specific to U.S. overpopulation, which means that they can't access any external offense because it's just about resource shortages within the United States. Start just said, also not going for it. There's not a link trend here either. They have no evidence that GOP not hating one issue makes them vote for Start. There's also no uniqueness for them here. You should extend argument because the Start is going to pass in the status quo. As a result, status going to pass in the status quo as a result of Lugar and Obama's political capital. There's only risk for us. They can't win any offense on this fall. Additionally, we control the only extinction terminal impact, which is the reason that you should vote for us, even if they win all the Start impacts. Growth causes a terrorist attack. Not always the case. The materials to make a bioweapon are found in the natural environment. They can be easily weaponized. A bipartisan coalition found that bioterrorists likely to happen on U.S. soil by 2013. That's our Graham and Taylor evidence. You should prefer this impact first because it's the only one that has multiple people on multiple sides of an issue coming together to agree. All of their evidence is written by hacks that just want the United States to continue to grow in order to fulfill the profit motive. Our evidence is from a bipartisan coalition which did empirical studies to prove that a terrorist attack was highly likely to happen on U.S. soil. Second is it's the fastest time frame. They have no time frame for when global cooperation with Russia last year would actually occur. Russia's economy's been in the shitter for years. No war has started as a result. There obviously are alternative causalities to Russia attacking us, or they just view the U.S. military as too strong to ever want to go to war with us. Third is it's the only extinction scenario in the round. This should be the most important part of your decision calculus. Even if they win all of their nuclear war scenarios, bioweapons spread in a matter of hours due to low global immunity. They cannot be controlled, which means that they spread globally and affect the entire planet. That's our equivalent of saying your evidence that nuclear will not cause extinction because deterrence prevents the impact. The only impacts that she extends in her 1NR are all based off of nuclear weapons scenarios or low-level war scenarios, whatever that means. But none of those scenarios will actually escalate because countries are rational and will stop attacking each other before it gets out of hand. They've also conceded our Hess evidence, which indicates the impact is linear for every 1% increase in growth. That causes one more terrorist attack against the United States. Multilateral cooperation is impossible in a world of U.S. retaliation. We'd fight just fine to launch nukes and any terrorists that we could get our hands on. Russia would probably not enjoy cooperating with us very much when we blame them for giving scientific evidence to others, which is something that is empirically happened. This still applies despite keeping global growth. Our evidence is just about the United States economy spreading terrorism in other countries. They conceded the India example that I gave in my 2NC, which I'm not going to repeat now. Back up to the top. Growth is slowing in the status quo. Whether or not they have a global or U.S. growth advantage, it still applies. Richardson indicates that low inflation and aging will make growth slower in the future because there won't be as much consumer spending, and the interest rates are not high enough in order to maintain that. A slower growth will not cause depression. The government is boosting and repairing the financial system. The Great Depression saw 2/5 of banks fail due to lack of government intervention. Plus, another stimulus bill is on the way. Our steward efforts indicates that there won't be a double-dip recession in the status quo, which means they can't access their economy. Based impacts. All the key indicators prove that the economy is on the upswing. Our Wolf evidence indicates the discount rate, money supply, and fiscal policy will all help to avoid the oppression. Additionally, they can't solve any of their economy advantage. They've conceded our Lean Heart evidence, which indicates that the crisis makes fixing the only way that we can actually fix the financial system is through a recession. This gives us an opportunity to do things that we could have never done before. Interest groups otherwise would be too powerful and take control of the United States economy. They have empirically done this in the past. They were the reason that we had a housing bubble or a tech bubble, which means that bubbles will just inevitably spring up again in the future, which means they can't solve their economy impact in the long term. Now, our conflict stuff, I'm not going for this as offense, I'm just going for it as defense against their impact. Our Bowman evidence indicates that the U.S. is not likely to retaliate or lash out during times of low economic growth because the only reason that we'd actually ever engage in one of those conflicts is if we were 100% certain that we could win. If we, the only way that we'd engage in conflict is if we had high GDP growth that inflates leaders' perceptions of strength and increases the public support for military actions. Otherwise, we will not engage in conflict, which means the only way that they can actually access any of their scenarios is if there is slow growth in status quo. Now, our BD evidence also conceded indicates that recession does not cause protectionism. Studies show that trade only declined by 0.4%, which means they probably can't exit the Russia scenario. If Russia is dependent upon the U.S. economy and trade did not cause, and recession did not cause any type of protectionist measures, then Russia is probably not going to get too pissed. Additionally, our PNA evidence indicates that Russia can't challenge the U.S. economically or military. Their GDP is a tenth of the United States. There is no impact to Russian economic collapse. This happened hundreds of times in the past. Our Friedman evidence, which is much more qualified than any of their authors, indicate that their economy is going to wreck due to things like infrastructure, demography, and geography. There is literally no correlation between the state of their economy and how aggressive they are. Now, the warming debate. Luckily, I preempted this. Growth causes more warming than it solves with coal. D. Man, CO2 output declined by nearly 3% last year. The recession lessened demand for coal use in electricity. Second is total emissions. CO2 output increased by over 25% in the past 30 years due to economic growth. This occurred despite efficiency gain. There's literally no warrant in either of the two pieces of evidence that they read. The only warrant is technology. Our God-having Cohen evidence indicate that assuming technological progress will stabilize emissions from progress in other areas, only decreasing consumption is the way to solve climate change because it addresses the actual root causes of climate change. Otherwise, they risk extinction because they trade off with better and more important measures.